Heyo, this video is about where your social media audience comes from. So what you are going to leave here with is an idea of how people actually get customers through social media, how they can actually cultivate relationships through social media, and how does that even begin, and what do you need to know? Well, first off, it's not a magical viral machine. It's not like you start posting stuff and people start finding you. That's, nice and it happens sometimes if your stuff is super duper juicy and it's super amazing and it's super fun. That happens. Sometimes people go viral. But if they go viral once and they don't have anything interesting for new people to see, that might be one moment that goes away that they can't actually capitalize later on. Can I give you a funny example here? There was a towel that was designed for women with, basically it was a towel for women when they leave the shower to keep them dry. And they posted, this product, and a lot of women could relate to this product, I being one of them, and tons of people pre-ordered. The problem was that that the product didn't actually get made in time. The product, they basically couldn't actually fulfill the orders, and they actually ended up having to refund all this money. But now that the product and the company has their act together, for them to get that much press as they did when they originally launched this towel product, it's a lot harder, and they've missed out on an opportunity because everyone was kind of having fun with it, 6 months ago, but you weren't ready for it, so you couldn't actually capitalize on the attention. So just because you go viral doesn't mean that you actually can sustain the growth. If you didn't capture their emails, you didn't get them to follow you on social media, some of those relationships are gone forever, and they're never going to look for your product again. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to this. So there is some attention that you get from the press. If someone thinks your product is super duper cool, it might get featured on one of the press platforms, maybe a BuzzFeed, maybe NBC News, or Product Hunt or something like that, which is really cool because what they've done is that they've cultivated an audience that trusts them because of the curated content they put out. Is that I know that if I'm looking for news on software as a service products, I'll go to SaaStr because I know that that's what they curate. And those curators are looking for content that they can feature to their audience. So if you have a company that you want to promote, you now can say, hey, you guys should feature me. And if it's not interesting enough for them to feature, you don't get the attention. But if it is, you now get pressed out to the world, and that lets people know that you exist. And what they do after, that's where the marketing comes in. Do you tell them to sign up for your email list? Do you tell them to sign up for your social media? That's how you actually grab onto those names. So that's one way that someone can cultivate an audience, is through other people's attention. But you also have to know where to guide the people that come to you after getting said attention. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, which is where I kind of come in my business, is you actually build those relationships one-on-one. So for me, in building my social media business, the people that I serve are usually traditional business owners who are very well connected, who will get their business because of referrals and networking. It means that if you like working with me, you'll tell somebody else that I'm good at what I do, and they'll come work with me because they'll trust your judgment, right? And that is how so much of the solo small business owner world works. And a lot of times, these folks are not technically savvy. But what they are good at is one-on-one relationships. So that if I, for example, my dad has a online community that he runs himself, which you'll hear more about later. A lot of people know that he's a good dude. And they'll trust him and say, hey, if he says that this guy is going to pay me my money, that they will pay them their money because my dad has such a good relationship. And that's worth something. Now, a lot of times these people don't know how to take those relationships to the next level, is that they can't stay in touch with every single one of those people. So what happens is they'll maybe stay in touch, or maybe they'll go see them at a networking event, or maybe they'll have a weekly mailer that goes out to them, which is cool. It keeps you in their memories. I know there's a lady that designs greeting cards, custom greeting cards for a lot of law firms and stuff like that. She sends out a postcard a couple times a year. That lets me know that she's there, which is what they might be doing. Maybe they'll pay for TV ads. Maybe they'll pay for a booklet in their Chamber of Commerce publication. That will get them some attention. But what they really could use is a way to really scale staying in touch with the individuals that can refer them business. And so that's where the other part of the audience comes in, is that you've cultivated a relationship with someone that can open up doors for you. So the way that looks like in my life and how this affects my social media, and this is really my thesis statement on social media, is that everybody that really likes and comments and engages with my LinkedIn content, which is a bunch of people, more than most people I know, are people that I have cultivated a relationship with. So the people, the 30, 40, 50, 60 people who are liking my post now have me in their heads. They've thought of me. They've liked something I've put out. It's as if I had sent them a postcard in the mail. It's as if they saw me on the news, which occasionally that happens too, but that's the magic of it, is that now they're being reminded. Now, those are just the 30 people that liked and commented. They're about maybe the top 10% of my followers who will actually tell you that they're there. Maybe even 2% is what a lot of people say. But there's still a ton of people who are not liking and commenting, who are being reminded that I am doing what I'm doing. And that's the magic of social media, is that social media is reminding people that you are there. And the next level of that is reminding people that you are there and that you are an expert at whatever it is that you do. The more you can paint that picture with social media, the more that relationship is cultivated. Because I can't necessarily call every person I know in business and say, hey, listen to me talk for an hour about why I'm good at social media. They're seeing my content passively because they have friended me on LinkedIn. They are going to be reminded that I am good at what I do. And that's the magic of how to build an audience potentially on social media and what it actually can do for a business owner. So there's lots of stuff there, how to build an audience. You can get into depth about Facebook ads and paying for those audience members to come in, but you have to know how to capture them, which is really tricky sometimes. SEO will get people who are searching for you to find you and your product as a solution to what they have. TV is going to say, hey, look, I exist. It's hard to track where those people are coming from and how it's worked, but we see this with brands like Coca-Cola and like other big company, Kellogg's, whatever, who will keep us in their heads, and they know that has an effect for them. There's so many things that you can do, whether it be sampling at a event, at a street festival. You want people to try your product, makes a huge difference. Sometimes you're sampling in the grocery store. There's just so many different ways that you can get an audience, but you have to treat people well, and you have to know how to actually guide them to where you want to go. So that's how you get a social media audience. There's a few little nuggets for you. Bye!